Welcome. This is going to be over what to expect on the PNPT or slash PJPT. Basically, just a series of what you need to know. So, I wanted to do a box called Active because Active is a good box to understand the concepts of using Netexec, Kerber roasting, and what to look for with SMB. So, I did this box about a year ago. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Through our scan here, when we start off, we see this B is open. We have DNS, so it could be a domain controller. Not sure yet. Now we know it is a domain controller between these two ports. This is LDAP and then Kerber, and this Kerberos. All right. So we know we have all those here, but before we go to the Kerber roasting part, we're gonna go ahead and check to see what kind of access we do have. So I'm gonna run, oops, sudo netexec SMB target. We know SMB is open. We also can do LDAP queries, but first things first, I want to know if I have anonymous access to the server or not. And the answer is I do. So that's what NetExec shows you can use to see what kind of access you do have and what don't have. So in this case, do I have access to look at the shares? Oh, no, I need another tech. So do I have access to the shares? I do. I have read access. Okay. Now I will use also a command called root, see whether or not I have access to users on the domain, which I do not. And this finished. So RPC. So a lot of LDAP. Okay. So we're gonna focus on SMB here. So I think that's gonna be your foothold. But we can do some other stuff too, but we don't see WinRAM or RDP. So we're probably gonna use um pexec or SMB for an Impacket. So once we get a user, but we don't haven't found anybody yet. So in this case now, what I want to do, Smbclient, attack target, I'm go no password, if I can spell. All right. So in this case, I'm gonna get rid of the attack L. We can have access to it. And we can go replication, and we can also grab users. Active dot. Oops. See what's in scripts. Nothing. I don't think anything really. Nothing really here. Okay. We can probably exit here, but now we also have the chance to get users. No, we have access tonight, so we only have replication. Actually, here, what we're going to do, we're going to run SMB map instead. Or no, actually, no, we want to go back to the other. Oops. we will probably want to run. Oh, this is something you don't need to know. I think this is how we have to solve the box. Prompt. Oh, I forgot R. Want to check those policies. Yeah, so this might not be what you need to know, but the part you do need to know is can we go in an SMB client to check what's in here for us to grab? But in this case, we can check here what kind of policies these guys have. Because now this could be saved here. Okay. So we have group 8, group groups XML document. I'll exit that. Oh, nothing's there. Service level. There we go. So which one was this one that in the group? Okay, we want this policy. So we got a lot here. We actually got the username and password. So I believe that's the password. And there's the user. We're going to decrypt this. And there we go. There's our password. All right. So now that we have the password here, we can probably pretty cool. We're gonna go back up here. We're gonna start checking to see whether our user has access or not. And we're gonna do it with an exec. So we have the service account. And then password here, saying it's so strong, whatever. We're going to verify the credentials and they are correct. Okay. So now we're going to check for other users. If this person does, root. We do. Okay. And he is with the active account. Also permissions. So these are all the users. We have guest. We have Kerberos user, domain and new users, password. So there's only so far the one person. So we're not gonna worry about the rest of it. But now we can access some client. We can check to see whether or not he has access to shares. All right, so he has read access to users now. So that's good. All right. So we're gonna go Smbclient and attack you because now we have this person here. And then when you're using Smbclient with the password, you want to give it a percent sign. So target. Cool. So now we can check his desktop here. So this is equivalent as running $$ on this PC, basically. But you don't want to do that. At a security level, you don't want to have that. Now we can go and get. So then we got our first user flag. Cool. But you can't run regular stuff here. So now we're going to exit out of that. We're going to cat user. And then there's the first user flag. Now we want to use hold app here. And this might be a little bit more that you need to know for the PNPT or PJPT. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to check to see whether or not if this person has access to do stuff that we normally don't see. We actually probably run that in Netexec. I'm going to do that in Netexec instead. Give me a second here. But I believe only he will show up as a user. Yes. And so that output. Yeah. So he's technically the only one other than the shitter guest and then the curb roasting. So then curb roasting here, I don't know how to explain this then. So, and this is something you do need to know. So curb roasting. Curb roasting is an authentication and service principal names on another common technique to gain privileges within Active Directory. It's the name of curb roasting. So it's an offensive technique created by Tim Medin, and he revealed that in DEF CON or DerbyCon, sorry, in 2014. 2014. Wow. Anyways, so probably the best way to explain this, the show. So it Kerber roasting is you're extracting the hash of the ticket act granting access service. And this is going to be insane to see, but this will make sense when you just run the command. Stating explain. Well, I wanted that one. Oh, can't read that full story. What? Okay, there. Someone will be fine. So I'm requesting a ticket to the domain controller. I receive said ticket. I'm presenting ticket or asking to get granted access. Everyone receives a ticket. So then I go to the application server and presenting the tickets for access. This goes back to domain, and then this goes back to validating the request, and then ad roasting is possible, but you the same ticket process. I request a ticket, you receive a ticket. I present a ticket back again to the Windows DC, then I receive the ticket. And then I'm presenting the ticket to the application, and then it will give it back to whatever I need, and then it'll go, and then this will validate it, and then go back to the application server. Basically, I request a ticket coming from the service, and it comes back, and then it's going to give me the hash from the said ticket. So we use a script from Impacket, the order to do that. So this would be Impacket users, spans, active. And it needs the domain name too. And then here, see. Yeah, we do need the password, but you can run it this way or put tac piece somewhere. Needs it for this script will basically show you what their login or whoever's signed into it. And so I see that it's active, so then I'm going to make a request. And now I have the administrator's ticket. So what I'm going to do now, I have the hash here. I'm going to go sudo, I'm going to go nano hash.text. We're going to copy and paste this, save it. Then I can run it in either Hashcat or I can run this in John the Ripper, and then we're gonna take that offline to check whether or not we can do that. But first, we actually need to make sure that yeah, super. Yeah, make sure that's done first, and then Hashcat and yeah, 300 dash tech. Raise share. So rock you. We're gonna take it offline to crack or well. And you don't necessarily have to run this last part of this command. You just have to force it to see whether or not it's going to be able to do it. I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to say force. And it cracked it. Oh, that is Ticketmaster here. All right, so we have a few options now that we've signed in, but in this case, we're going to use Impacket again, but we're going to use this one because when we're looking at this here, there's not much we can sign in with other than with either LDAP or SMB. So we can use WinExec right here. All right, now it's on next. After that, it's just signing in as normal. We can probably lowercase that though. But we can't. So if you try to patch the hash with a curve roasting ticket, though, it won't work because it's not in the format versus MTLM. But what we're doing is we're able to crack it with Hashcat with that ticket. Yeah, sorry, we're using SMB in this case, but then we got a shell. So we'll go CD users. Go add terminal. Oh, be my typo. And that'll do it for this box. So the thing to really know for this part here when we were doing curb roasting, you want to be able to understand how to get the ticket here with this command, and then to crack it with Hashcat. Definitely need to know that for the PNPT. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching, like, and subscribe.